Stanislaus County Office of Education is playing a critical role in bringing the community together.
I would encourage the community to really embrace this problem, because really without everyone reaching out and helping, this problem is not going to go away with gangs. For those of you who don't have children, reach out to children. Don't turn your backs. Don't ignore them just because they have green hair or piercings on their face. They're still kids and they're trying to find their way.
It's a warning too late for Inez Costa. She watched as her daughter fell into a trap of gangs and narcotics.
She started wearing different clothes, but I was busy just, working all the time and trying to get the material things for her.
She says her daughter, Alicia, got involved with gangs and drugs when she was just 15 years old.
It got worse. Then it started being that the only thing she'd wear is Raider clothes, and she had her hair backcombed really high. And
eventually, Alicia would successfully complete a drug treatment program and encourage other teens not to destroy their lives.
Hang with a gang and expect to hang in handcuffs. That's what 23-year-old John and 19-year-old Alicia believe. Both are ex-gang members. John's behind bars for killing another gang member. Alicia sold guns and drugs to kids and has been in and out of jail.
There's not too many gang members that see their 21st birthday, and if they do, they're behind bars.
But at the peak of her recovery, something went terribly wrong.
April 30th, I got a phone call, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning from Emmanuel Hospital, and they said, "This is Emmanuel Hospital, and do you know an Alicia Dial Costa?" And I said, "Yeah, that's my daughter." And they said, "Well, she was brought in last night, and she's on life support that we don't expect her to live." And I thought it was the gang people. So I said, "You know what, I'm tired of all you guys calling me all the time." And they said, "No, this is real. Your daughter's on life support, and we don't think she's going to make it." So I said, "Okay." So I called my husband, and we went to Emmanuel Hospital.
Alicia had relapsed and overdosed on methamphetamine.
The doctor said, "Well, we'll take her off life support." And I said, "Well, if it was your daughter, what would you do?" And he said, "Let's just wait until tomorrow and see, because the body would maybe just go by herself." And she did. She passed away at 4 o'clock that afternoon, and her husband, he was still doing drugs, and he was more concerned that her purse was missing. And so none of her gang friends came to the funeral.
Inez wishes she had a second chance to intervene in her daughter's life. Today, she warns other parents to pay closer attention to the warning signs before it's too late.
Tell you, take some time off, spend some time with them. Say, "You know what, I might not like what you're going to tell me, but be honest with me and tell me what's going on. What's going on with you? What am I missing?" Because I wish I would have known that then. There weren't programs 12 years ago. Get to know your kids, because they want some structure in their life. I think I didn't give enough structure to my daughter. I gave her too much freedom. If you don't know what's going on, then you may have to bury one of your children. I live with that every day, the regrets.
When it comes to understanding gangs in Modesto, Micah Disney knows all about it. His parents watched as his fascination with gangs boiled over.
My parents saw, when I first started gangbanging, my parents saw things that they thought were peculiar. A lot of red. What do you want for Christmas? Everything I wanted was Cincinnati Reds attire. And they thought, that's peculiar. But yet they didn't do anything about it, they just bought it. I grew up in Northside Modesto, right by Davis High School off Rummel Road. Just a normal kid, mom and dad. My dad actually moved from Empire to Northside Modesto because he felt that all the other sides of Modesto were deteriorating. He didn't want to live there. He wanted his kids to grow up in a nice neighborhood, so we moved to the north side.
Despite moving to a better neighborhood, Micah soon became friends with other teenagers already deep into a gang.
It was kind of a fluke. I just, you know what I mean? They came, they supported me. My mom and dad were splitting up. Dad wasn't there, and so I fell in with these guys. And then from then on, it was just me and them until the wheels fell off from then on. This tattoo right here says EBGK. That was Empire Boy Gang Killer. And then on my back arm, I got a Huerga bird. It's a bird that represents the Norteños.
Before long, Micah began to make a name for himself. His notoriety and power came hand in hand with narcotics, illegal weapons, and street violence.
And the next thing you know, I got a gun in my hand, and the first few times you shoot at somebody, I mean, not trying to kill them, but you don't care if you do, because you don't even know them. You know what I mean? You just know that they're an adversary. You don't know the guy's name, you don't know anything about him. It's nothing personal, it's just like strictly business. It's personal business. So you're shooting at this guy, and the first couple times, I mean, your heart's just pumping nitro, just beating 100 miles an hour. But it got to where at the end of my what I call my dumping days, when I got to the end of that, I mean, I remember one time we were having a shootout with these dudes, and I was thinking about having to make my car payment the next day, in between shots, you know?
This once notorious Modesto gang member spent time in both jail and prison for numerous crimes. Today, he's no longer involved in gangs, but his guilt lingers.
I mean, I didn't have anything to do with the young girl that was killed the other day over in the airport district. I didn't have anything to do with that. I was at work. But sitting back and looking at it, I was part of the problem. You know what I mean? I was involved in it, if you really look at it. I mean, I wasn't criminally involved in it, or I'm not criminally responsible for it. But in my own mind, if I look at that and think, wow, I was part of the problem. I participated in that same type of activity.
Micah's story isn't over yet. He often fears retaliation. Looking back, he now realizes what an effect it's had on his life.
You know what I regret? I regret the effect it had on my family. And the fact that it made me into an aggressive person. You know, it affects my relationship with my family members to this day. The fact that my mom has to worry about me constantly, and my little girl, when I leave the house, she'll tell me, "Don't let the bad guys get you, Dad." You know, the fact that I have a 12-year-old daughter who I really don't know.
There's no future in it. They'll say that to your friends, they'll say that they're your family, but in the end, there's nobody there coming to visit you and you're locked up in prison. The only ones that are going to be there for you are your real family.
Hi, she's not breathing. We're going to try to get the CPR on her.
Law enforcement isn't going to be able to arrest its way out of the gang problem. It's a problem that also needs the full attention of the community. And until the community becomes involved in the solution, more teens will fall victim to the lure of the gangs, and more families will face the grim reality of its effect on their quality of life. For more information about what you've seen on this program, visit our website at StanislausSheriff.com. I'm Kelly Houston. Thank you for watching this special edition of On the Front Line.
10469 in EUs, 10-3 up to 1011. It's at the Oregon Park, 1701 Oregon, cross of Empire. Some shots were fired from a vehicle passing by, and there's a subject down on the baseball court.
60497.
60497. 639, we're going to go 1033. Channel 1 is 1033 for you at the Oregon Park.